Hello, and welcome back to the Woodland Airsoft channel. In today's video, I have something pretty neat here we're going to unbox, we're going to install it, and then we're going to maybe do like a little bit of an overview. Thanks to FTX Tactical LLC, they sent it to me and got it here pretty quick. And yeah, so let's get straight into it. So here we are. And it is the BLINC from Wolverine Airsoft. So let's take a dive into it real quick. Looks like you have a little owner's manual on the top here, which we'll set to the side. Comes with the Bifrost that has the built-in tracer. We're going to have our circuit board for the trigger unit, some charging stuff, and there it is. Right here, the first thing we have that I pulled out is the contact yoke upgrade, and we'll be installing that, showing how we get to that. You have the main trigger board unit right here, but there's the new trigger board. Like I said, we have the Bifrost tracer unit that seems to have partnered with Wolverine. In this little bag, as you can see, it has a lot more going on with the top points here. It has some very interesting little marks there, probably to do with the electronics that are being upgraded with this system. It also comes with charging cable, USB-C. So now we have the contact yoke and the trigger board, and now we need an MTW. And here we are. This is my Wolverine MTW Unleashed, and we're going to show you how to install these two new pieces. So first things first, you need to remove the top and lower. So you'll push them out. You can use an Allen key if you want, and push out and push out there. And now we've separated the top half from the lower half, and we'll just set the top right there, and now we have our bottom half. So now you can see the old trigger board right there. You can kind of see how they're similar in their design. We need to push out this pin right here. That pin is what is holding your trigger board intact. So we're just going to push it down and all the way out, and there it is. Set that to the side, and I believe it should be easy to pull out. But I do want to note there's like a little spring there that just locked into place. It'll come into play later. We'll have to take a tool and push that out. This all the way out, and there you go. Set that to the side, and here is the old unit compared to the new unit. So pretty similar. There's some minor differences, nothing too crazy. So we're going to set this old unit aside in case anything bad ever happens. I'm going to hold on to it, and I can always reinstall it. So you're going to take your wiring and push it into the trigger guard there. So once you have that established, you need to set it up the way it was before. You're going to line these up, and it looks like there's a little loop here that will sit on top of that bar there, and then this should rest in here. I will note that they said if the trigger slides over just to push it back into place. I didn't have any issues with that apparently. So we're going to just try to, and you might have to push this right here back a little bit just to get this to sit nicely in there. So now it's nice and flush and flat. As you can see, it's all in there, looks good. Now we're going to take our pin that we pushed out, and it kind of has like a tapered side. Tapered side goes in. You'll have to hold this down like that, and it will go almost all the way in, and then it stops. And that's because there's that little spring there. So with that spring, you'll just take a tool and kind of push it to the side for a minute, and there you go. You can push it, and now it's flush. And there you go. You now have the board in here. You have your wiring coming out the bottom, and you're set. now we have to install the contact yoke. So we're going to set this to the side real quick, grab our MTW, and now we have to take this contact yoke and replace it with the new one. So they recommended taking this off so that our engine can slide around a little bit if we need it to, and then we'll take our old contact yoke, kind of pry it up, and now it's out. And there is contact back here. You'll need to unplug. Once it's unplugged like that, you can slide your wiring forward and pull it out the top. And now we have our old contact yoke that, again, we'll set to the side, and we'll keep them bagged up just in case anything ever happens. We can fix that. So we'll take the new one, slide the connector in, and we'll plug it in the back here. So you'll just push it in. Now it should all fit. Slide your wiring forward. The engine should naturally slide up back into place. Click in there. You'll want to reinstall the spacer that holds it, and there it clicked into place. Contact yoke, you'll push your wiring down. It's not a ton of space, I will say. It's a pretty tight fit. I feel like they made the wiring more bulky and maybe a little longer, but there it is. It's in. And now we have it attached, new contact yoke. You'll take your lower, set the back end, set the front end, and then you'll push your pins to lock it back in. There we go. So now we have it in, and we need to test the electronics, make sure everything is working accordingly. So we're going to take a little 7.4 LiPo battery, plug it in, and we heard that beep, which is great because that means it's now working. And we'll try, so I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but you can hear it's trying to shoot. So that's good. We have it now in place and working. So what's so great about the BLINC? Like, why are we interested in it? What's the pros of getting something like this, especially at the price point it's at? I think the greatest part for someone like me, I don't understand dwell at all, don't really care about it, in like the sense of having to take it all apart just to get in there. In the old system, from what I understand, you had to take it apart and you'd make like small adjustments, and you'd have to keep taking the whole thing apart. And to me, that just wasn't worth it to adjust my dwell. And I honestly, out of the box, was always shooting pretty well. Wasn't really having issues with air consistency, but this just seems pretty cool because it has some options to program, you know, 3-round burst, binary. You can change everything about your selection. So it also it has like a tournament lock feature, I think is neat. And especially since I already have the Bifrost tracer that has the chrono unit in it, I think it's really cool that you can kind of measure your outputs and look at that type of data. And on top of that, it has an auto dwell mode, basically, using the app. So we're going to open up the Wolverine MTW app here. Going to start looking, hit the little plus sign to look for devices. So now that we have the old Bifrost out, we can hit add, and it says to press the power button, and there we go. So it looks like we have it. So once I hit the magnifying glass button, I'm able to hit add. Please switch from semi to auto. Well, I only had to do semi, but it picked it up. So now we have both units in here, and I can go into those units and, you know, program stuff. So if I go into the Bifrost, just wondering, yeah, I can't do anything. But I can go to the trigger board and we can look at stuff. So we have a lot of features here. You can go into the rate of fire for semi versus auto, and what you want. It looks like my dwell is set to 10,000. I'm guessing from the video I watched when I watched Wolverine do their BLINC video, guessing that's the standard because I think that's what his was. And we're going to, so if you go to the top drop down menu, the burger, whatever you want to call it, we have some stuff we can do here, and I kind of want to go into the auto-tune because that's the main reason I got this. Like I said, you have the tournament lock, you have your tracer, which you can go into and you can turn on and off through this app. You have your tournament lock, which, like I said, you can touch that and, you know, it'll keep track of when you last did that and if you ever take it off. So kind of cool settings there, but the auto-tune is what I really care about. Okay, so now that we have the whole unit together, we're going to put on some eye protection real quick, and we're going to okay, so we held the trigger there, and it basically, so what it did is it took our dwell and it actually started much higher than what my normal dwell is. So like I said, our normal dwell was 10,000. It started from 18,500 and basically started tier step dropping the dwell. I'm sure you might have actually heard that in the video as I was holding the trigger and it kept like dropping it. So basically what it was doing between each shot, it's dropping the dwell significantly. It looks like roughly 1,000, sometimes a bigger drop, and it's calculating the FPS while it's dropping that, looking for that perfect dwell setting. So interestingly enough, I think from the video I watched again with the BLINC system from Wolverine, there's also selected 7,500 as a more suitable dwell. So I have some statistics here. I'll try to put it up in the video there if it's not already there, and it's going to select what it thinks is the best dwell option with my setup. So yeah, it says 7,500, so we're going to apply that, and theoretically, especially since I run a tank stock, that's actually going to save me a little bit of air when shooting, because it's going to be using less air to perform hopefully the same way, if not better, than it was before. So yeah, that's kind of just the breakdown. I don't know what else I really want to do with this video. I just kind of wanted to show off the system a little bit and do a little installation video because it's really new, it's really cool, and yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to go into it. If you have any questions, you can definitely let me know in the comments, and if you have questions that I can't answer, I will add a link to the Wolverine video because I go much more in depth than I plan to. Like I said, I already have experience with the Bifrost tracer unit in Chrono, so I'm pretty used to that. Did a slight video on it a while back, and I have a lot of experience with the Wolverine MTW. This is just kind of going into how to install the BLINC and the dwell setting, because I think that's the coolest thing. I think that's absolutely brilliant. It's a very cool collaboration between the Bifrost company with Ace Tech and Wolverine doing this with a new trigger board setup. So let me know in the comments what you think of this unit, and let me know if you think the cost point is fair or not. Is it too expensive? Is it fair? Or what would you do? And yeah, until next time, stay awesome, and I hope to see you on my field.